So yeah, I thought I'd do a video on my thoughts on the DWP and the Job Centre, and I've been avoiding this topic for like a while now because I do think it is a topic that really depresses me. So I've kind of really started to avoid it, to be honest, and but yeah, I'm just gonna go into a few details on my thoughts on that and all that kind of stuff. And I thought about it because look, I've had this kind of gut feeling since probably like my first job centre appointment, and since leaving university, and it's basically how, and like I've watched quite a lot of videos on this, and a lot of people seem to have like similar opinions where I just feel like they really don't help you into getting employment or like suitable employment, especially for people who have got like Asperger's, autism, like ADHD or other similar conditions, I guess. But in a way, it just really doesn't work, and like I was talking about this, like if you don't know, like I've ended up in like supported living because of like circumstances with, and I think the way the system is, which pretty much led to this situation, and I've I've got in contact with this guy who's under the same service as me that provides like housing and all that, and just had like I had a conversation with him as I ended up like knocking on for him, and we went for a walk and all that, as he just lived around the corner from me, and I thought it was like a good conversation because I think like with him, like I can relate to him because he's in a very similar position to what I'm in. Like he's someone that had potential at one point, but like obviously things didn't go went wrong for him, and that's I'd say that's mostly due to the failure of the system, and like look, I think he said he mentioned he had autism or something, but he's probably got like high functioning autism and stuff because you can have a normal conversation with him and stuff. But like he explained, like I asked him, it's a bit of a personal question and you don't have to answer it, but what got you into supported living? And he explained that that he he was thriving in IT, more like hardware sort of stuff, because that's his thing, taking computers apart and putting them back together again. And said he was thriving in that, and ended up going to the job centre, and he explained to them that that he'd thrive in an office job, but he wouldn't do well in warehouse sort of jobs, which the job centre was pushing him into really, and that's what was all that was being offered to him really, and just a few other things. So he kept taking on these like warehouse sort of jobs and basically crashing down like halfway through shifts basically, and got to the point where probably like from what I can remember, one or two shifts in sometimes that his boss would go, right, we have to let you go, you're no use to us. So really, the system set him up to fail, and I thought that sounded like something that something similar that happened to me. I think, and I think it was. I think I was very aware of how broken the system is anyway, and especially like the job centre and stuff. But I think that was more like a massive wake up call, or it confirmed to me that these people are just not interested in, helping you into fulfilling your potential, especially if people who have got a bit of autism and all that sort of stuff. And then they just we end up on, end up claiming like limited capacity support benefits and PIP, and end up in supported living because the, at the end of the day, they don't know what to do with us. Like that. That's why we end up in the position we're in, because at the end of the day, it's because the job centre and the system just literally do not know what to do with us, and that's what this guy said. That's what he explained. That's why I've ended up in the position I'm in, and why he's ended up in the position he's in, because the system just really does not know what to do. And that just confirms to me just how broken that system is, where from what I can remember, I went to university, got a degree, found, well, it was COVID as well, peak COVID, and just found there was no jobs around. Tried going down the mental health route and just get referred to stuff that just really does not help and what's not suited to me, and that's included things like the job centre and stuff. And I just found all of it literally all one big system, different corners of the system, just completely failed at fucking helping me get to where I could have been in life if things were a bit different. And in all fairness, I probably wasn't really in the right frame of mind back then, to be honest. Where like after like many years in education, I think I just hit a wall and just suffered massive fatigue and burnout, where that's probably, looking back at it, recognising that that's a big symptom of Asperger's, where that's how I struggle, where I can't really seem to, cope with as much as a normal person, a neurotypical person, without crashing out and burning, which basically what happened. And this guy I was talking to, I think, not saying it's the exact same circumstances, but it kind of sounded very similar, where just because of what's on your medical records and what label you have, they seem to look at that first and just categorise you into a box, which I've mentioned in other videos, where that's what the system does. If what's ever on your medical records, on what label you got, or how you did at school, or how you coped at school, it kind of, don't know, it's backdated data for people to be categorised into a box with a label on, and that's kind of what it sounds like to me. Where, and with like my frustration with the system and where I am now, like in all due respects, it's given me a roof over my head and some stability, but there's no progressing from it. And I think really that it is a system that just doesn't know what to do. I'm just not interested, overly interested in helping themselves, whatever benefits the system. And I think that's just a massive frustration I have with it, and many other people, where, like, at the end of the day, we've ended up in supported living, having to have support workers and being categorised into a box where we can't really get out of, is because the system literally doesn't know what to do with us, and the supported living stuff is very much a corner of the system, and it's just the same with all of it, where at the end of the day we just don't know what to do with people like me and him, really, and that's all down to the job centre and stuff. And he was telling me a few things, like a lot of people that make these decisions at the job centre has left a job because of stuff like they only made yes or no decisions, basically, rather than going into like full detail on why these people can claim benefits and all that. And apparently it's these people were trained psychologists, and a lot of people are walked out. So I think it's not just people like me and him that's frustrated with the system in the job centre. It's people, actual like insiders of the system, people that work for the system, that's very much frustrated. And even people like a few sport workers who I've talked to have said, yeah, the system is broken. And I cannot, like, I've had a genuine mutual conversation with a few like support workers that we seem to agree on it. That's, we both agree that the system's broken. The system doesn't help people that are in my position, and where it's a catch-22, where I could get a job, but I'd be in a more financially unstable position, or I could carry on claiming benefits, but I'd be more stable. I'd have a roof over my head, and but I can't progress from that, where I'm permanently boxed in with a label as a vulnerable adult, and it's soul crushing at the end of the day. And that also other labels like, oh, you're a dosser, you're a bum, where, oh, get out and get a job, but people don't realise how fucking difficult to make it to try and get a job and try and live a normal, functional life. Because I do think once you're categorised into the vulnerable adult box or the disabled box, to do make it very difficult to move on out of that to become a normal, functional adult. And the way things are in England and the Western world, working is social currency. Working, you gain respect in certain circles, not all of them, not everyone sees it that way, but unfortunately that's just how it is. And also there's a big side of me that kind of thinks working's very overrated, and it's probably not even worth working anymore because of how broken the system is. And I'm like, I've had, like I mentioned to this guy, just because the system's so broken and they're that bad, what is the point in actually, like, integrating into it? Like, what is the point of working where you end up in a financially worse off situation where you have to pay more tax, you have to fucking pay more of this bullshit, and you end up with lower money in a worse house or apartment in a worse area. And I'm like, what is the actual point? And I think at the minute I'm at the point where I've been like this for quite a while, where volunteering is as good as it gets. Because really, I think the only reason for me to work is for the social side. But I guess there's other areas where you could get a social life and stuff like that. But that social currency, that respect, and I just think, is there any point to it? Especially how broken the system is. But yeah, that's just some of my thoughts. I think it's a bit of a clumsy video I'm making, and don't get me wrong, there's things about my current situation in supported living that I appreciate, like it's giving me a roof over my head, it's giving me a bit of stability. And I think some of like the support workers who I've met there are probably some of the best people I've ever met. And but I do think it is a broken system, and that really does set people up to who may have had a bit of potential in life to just give up. And a lot of people do give up, whether that's their own choice or they just felt like the system pushed them into giving up because of labels and being told they're vulnerable all their life and fucking told you're not good enough all your life, basically. And like maybe it's just a sign of how the modern world is, because I don't really think we're living in good times exactly. Where everyone and everything is so focused on these rigid rules that are designed to control people, I think. Like duty of care rules to a level I might understand, but I think it's really over the top and stuff that just really doesn't help people like me, especially coming from me personally. And just why everyone and everything just have to overcomplicate everything, social politics, office politics, or just all this shit, all these unspoken rules, and it's just everywhere, it seems, especially in England, where you just have to act a certain way, and if you diverge out of what's seen as the norm, especially when you've got things like autism and Asperger's and stuff, apparently it can make a lot of people uncomfortable where they don't get you and they just don't want to associate with you. And stuff like potential employers where there's so much fucking rules and bullshit, where it's full-time job just to even get the job, and getting a job and doing the job's not even enough. And it's really frustrating, but that's just coming from me personally. That's just my opinion on that sort of stuff. Yeah, that's all I've got to say on that, really. At the minute I might make another video on this topic, as I might forget to mention something, but yeah, that's where I'm at.